"I am one of the greatest heavyweights of all time," is how Tyson Fury assessed his career at Saturday night's post-fight press conference, shortly after dispatching Dillian Whyte with relative ease. And the Gypsy King was the talk of social media after his nonchalant 6th-round knockout of the British challenger. Today, we're discussing the big man's win and how the world reacted to the right uppercut that shook the boxing world. First up, how did the fight play out? Well, having come straight off the back of a trilogy fight with Deontay Wilder, beating him twice and drawing once, Fury came into this one as the firm favorite. But despite many prominent figures from the world of boxing suggesting that Whyte had the tools required to do a job on Tyson, it didn't play out that way. Fury was in control from the first, and in the minds of the judges, had won 12 of the 15 rounds they had scored as a collective. As the two heavyweights came together for the first, there was a suggestion that Whyte had maybe done enough to secure the opening round, with one judge scoring it for the body snatcher. 2 and 3 saw the pair both do some good work as they continued feeling each other out, looking for openings, before the champion took control in the 4th and 5th rounds. By the time Whyte tasted the canvas in the 6th, Fury was in the driving seat, and the knockout blow, which seemed to come out of nowhere, was felt around the world. As the pair were jostling for position, Fury unleashed one heck of a right uppercut, which Whyte failed to see. The punch landed flush and nearly knocked Whyte out of his boots, before sending him directly to the floor, with Fury then pleading to referee Mark Lyson to stop the fight to save his old friend from any further punishment. What did you make of the knockout? Next up, how did the world react to the finish? Of course, heavyweight championship fights are some of the most watched events in the whole of sports, and Saturday night was no different. And having received well wishes from all over the world before the fight, from famed celebrities such as The Rock and former England captain David Beckham, Fury duly obliged his adoring fans by delivering the goods. And boy, did the world react. Promoter Frank Warren, who was heavily involved in the night's proceedings, claimed that the punch was the biggest and most brutal punch of Tyson Fury's career, whilst Dwayne Johnson again went out of his way to congratulate the Gypsy King. Former British heavyweight king Lennox Lewis spoke of a great showing from Fury, whilst Anthony Crolla explained how Whyte struggled all night to close the distance, before describing Tyson's show closer as an absolute peach. And the kind words kept on coming for Fury, who has seemed untouchable for the last decade. Audley Harrison suggested that Whyte should have been boxing at a higher pace, and Fury set that uppercut so nicely. And former England striker Gary Lineker, who famously presented an episode of Match of the Day in his underwear following Leicester City winning the Premier League back in 2016, congratulated the Gypsy King, claiming that was one hell of an uppercut. There were even words of praise from WWE legend Triple H, who said, "A KO punctuates Tyson Fury's absolutely dominant career. Congratulations on tonight's win. Unstoppable." What did other people have to say then? Of course, anyone who's anyone in the sporting world was quick to congratulate Fury on the win, and one of them was another former England football captain, John Terry, who proclaimed the champ as one of the best ever. But the well wishes weren't limited to the world of sports. Mr. American Pie himself, Don McLean, even got in on the act, saying how they filmed the opening 3 weeks ago and he knew it was going to be magnificent, before going on to say how it was a fantastic night for both himself and Tyson. Way to get in on the act there, Don. And combat sports legendary announcer Michael Buffer spoke of how touched he was at the beautiful moment after the fight when Tyson brought a young disabled child into the ring to present him with one of the belts, ending his tweet with "Pass the Kleenex," a sentiment which was echoed by lots of fans. And Leeds brawler Josh Warrington, current featherweight world champ, retweeted Dazon's screen grab of the knockout punch with a caption, "Big shot from the GK, Gypsy King." As the dust is now starting to settle on the fight, and potentially the Gypsy King's career, the reaction to his performance really is a testament to the big man's career. Having announced himself to the world with that famous performance at the end of the first Wilder fight, Fury has now solidified himself as one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time. Next up, Dillian Whyte himself has spoken out on how the fight unfolded. Stay tuned to hear what he said. After his 6th-round KO on Saturday night, Dillian Whyte has today spoken on how the fight played out, claiming that before the 6th-round finish, the fight was actually quite close. He said, "There wasn't a lot in it. It was a close fight, and I didn't feel like I was outclassed in there." However, even though some people argued that he probably was outclassed, it is absolutely no disgrace whatsoever when you realize who he was in there with. And Whyte revealed some of his game plan before the fight. He told of how he wanted to press him and start moving forward, although he probably could have done with stepping up on the pace a little. He also said he was, in fact, trying to attack, but just got caught on the way in, alluding to the fact that that it only takes one mistake to get caught by someone with the skill set of Tyson Fury. And Whyte went on to say, "He's a big awkward guy. I was expecting that. It was always going to be an awkward fight, but I was trying to set up and be patient and land what I could early, and from round 3 onwards start to press." And the Londoner went on to tell fans that the fight on the whole was a good learning experience, suggesting that he isn't done with this sport just yet. What did you guys make of Dillian's words? Let us know below. Next up, where does Fury actually rank in the greatest of all time debate? Well, of course, these things are purely subjective, and everyone has the right to their own opinion. However, there is a general consensus that following Saturday night's fight, Tyson Fury has solidified himself safely inside the top 3 greatest heavyweights of all time. And in the press conference following his win, Tyson even explained to the waiting press that he has now won every belt available in the sport, and that he is only the second heavyweight ever to retire with an undefeated record, after Rocky Marciano, who retired 49-0. And if this is a barometer, then of course Fury is inside the top 3. But some fans have claimed he is top of the pile. Many people's number 1, Muhammad Ali, was actually beaten 5 times in his career, and Mike Tyson, who is also regularly mentioned in the debates of greatest of all time, was beaten 6 times. The closest British heavyweight to Tyson is probably Lennox Lewis, who was stopped twice in his career, and Fury's pure boxing skills, combined with his underrated punching power, mean he is easily Britain's best ever. But whether or not boxing fans across the pond can be convinced of the Gypsy King's greatness is yet to be seen. At this point, having beaten all comers, the only real question comes in the form of Rocky Marciano from our point of view. What do you guys make of this debate? Let us know below. And finally, news from Tyson and Tommy Fury's post-fight celebrations. As you probably know, Tyson's younger half-brother, Tommy, also featured on Saturday's Wembley card, easily beating Daniel Bocianski on points. And the brothers went on to party it up big time following their wins at some of London's hottest spots. Tyson, a known family man, and Tommy, as well as girlfriend Molly May Hague, started their Sunday with a lavish breakfast. And if Molly May's Instagram was anything to go by, it was more akin to a banquet. They went on to Sheesh in Chigwell, Essex, with friends James Argent and Mark White, where Tyson, sporting the worst pair of trousers we've seen in a while, proved that being one of the world's toughest men gives you carte blanche to wear what you like. Tyson's training partner, Joseph Parker, who will himself take on Joe Joyce in his next bout, was also on hand to share in the celebrations. And Tommy revealed in an Instagram video that he had been waiting 12 weeks for this burger. What did you guys make of the Fury brothers' celebrations? Let us know below. As always, thanks for dropping in today, and remember to tune in next time for some more fun and games. Also, why not do us a solid by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel to make sure you don't miss out on our future great content. Bye guys!